Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Freedom Racing Engines. So we're in Indiana. Bob and I drove through the night, got here at like midnight and smoked the side of the truck along the way. Truck's gonna need some work, but we're not gonna get into that today. So we're at Freedom Racing. We're gonna check out our new engine build for the drag truck. I'm excited. I'm kind of nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. It should look awesome. I don't know how this is going to go. We're probably just going to warm it up, get it through its paces. I don't know that we're going to be able to make any power with it today. They got a lot going on with UCC and all that. So anyway, let's get in here and see what's going on. All right guys, we're getting ready to go in the engine room. I've actually been here for quite a while. They showed us around, been hanging out with Chase Fleece and just talking about the engine and everything going into it, and I'm amazed. I'm blown away with how this thing's turned out. It looks awesome. They got a ton of activity here. Ben Chatty's trying to get his engine together. There's guys over at Fleece getting stuff together. It's just beehive of activity over here. So anyway, I don't know if we're even going to get to run the engine today. I'm not sure, but I'm just glad to see the thing. Well, here it is. Here's our engine. Well, there she is. So here is our Amber Fire Pearl engine. This is actually a Hamilton solid iron block. So we're going all the way. There's no water jacket in this block. It is a Freedom head. I don't know, stage 4, stage 5. It's the baddest head you can get. So we will have a wet head, a solid block. It's got waggler rods, diamond pistons, small hole pistons, D&J precision machine, dual timing cover for our dual injection pumps. We'll go into fuel in a second. larger ARP hardware. We actually have a factory rail with some fleece work done to it. Our regulation for all our fuel is going to be through the fleece regulation block, and then they have a return block. We have our harness for our computer, which we will be using a CM2100, which is actually the computer out of an 07.5 to an 09 truck. And just basically, there are some limitations with the 4th gen computer, so we went to the 07.5 to 09 trucks, which is very capable for what we're doing. We got our fleece intake, which is just a work of art. This thing is beautiful. Now the valve cover is not our valve cover, though. That's the decisions we need to make, like exhaust manifold wise. You know, do we go with a stainless diesel manifold, which we could polish, and then the black cover, or do we get like a polished cover and go with all the shiny bits? I don't know. I think you know, comment down below what you guys think. Personally, I'm thinking this thing would look pretty gnarly if we did some stainless diesel polished with the Black Freedom cover and the you know, nice raw aluminum over here. But yeah, so that's the engine. This is just the break-in turbo. It has to be warmed up, retorqued, all that. Yeah, so this is certainly going to be a learning process for me. Been talking to Chase about a lot of this stuff. I mean, it's a whole new ball game. Once we get this truck together, it's going to be probably a lot of conversations back and forth trying to figure stuff out. Anytime I have a question, there's going to be no guessing. We're going to get it right from the source and find out. Bob, pull that valve cover off. Oh, and Bobbert's here too. So there's our everything. You can't really see our injectors. So we have 500% over injectors. If you guys can see right there, that little insignia on there, they are S&S Diesel Motorsport injectors. These are actually their first set, I'm told, with that logo, and that bomb logo is to indicate they are not standard injectors. Now, for all our fuel and tuning, we are using Ryan Milliken at Hardway Performance as we have in the past. So basically, this fuel system, these 500% over injectors and these two 12mm stroker pumps are what are in his green car. So our fuel system is pretty much the same as his, except for we will have a D&J Waterman, or not a D&J, a Waterman pump on our D&J cover. So we will have a mechanical lift pump, no more air dog. The only reason for that is just simplicity. Try and get rid of wires, get rid of that stuff. And really the front of this, you can put that back on there, Bob. The front of this engine will pretty much look like this. The only difference is we will probably have an alternator on here, so I don't have to worry about charging this thing every time. Yeah, so that's the engine. I don't really know what else to say. I think I already said waggler rods, diamond pistons, all kind of the trick stuff that Fleece does to these things. A lot of little secrets in here that they do. ARP hardware on everything. Oh, we have a brand new factory Cummins crank. We didn't want to take any chances with the crank, so we got brand new factory Cummins. I really can't think of what else to say. This thing is certainly, like I said, going to be a whole different ball game. We are fixing to compete with the big boys. There's a lot of guys at UCC that have engines similar to this. And what we originally wanted to do was we wanted to go with a wet block is what I wanted. So that pretty much typically means you would take a 6.7 block and sleeve it down to a 5.9. Well, when I called Freedom, and the reason I went with Freedom is they said, yes, we can build that for you, but with the call started off, I want to make 2,000 horsepower. So they said, you need to talk to John. That's how we got the deal with John at Freedom. So anyway, when I told John that, he says, I can build you that wet block and we can do that. He says, but I can't stand behind it. He says, there's too many variables. That block will actually move around. Even a filled block will kind of contort and get all weird and funky, and it just won't live to it. He says, if you want to do that, I recommend going to a solid iron block. I thought about it, actually had a conversation with Ryan Milliken about it. That, and you know, like the solid iron block, my problem was I wanted something I could take and do passes. And like he said, how often are you at the track and it's not more than a half hour between passes? yeah, and I was thinking maybe it would be like an hour or something like that. But really, once we get some cooling and all for this, for our oil, for our coolant, all that, we should be able to take the heat right out of that. But like once again, as I said, guys, a lot of learning, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of shiny stuff on this thing, and it is beautiful. That amber fire pearl looks fantastic. I'm so ecstatic about this thing. I just don't know what to think. Hopefully we can get this thing finished together. It's got to get plumbed up and all that, and maybe we can get her fired today, hopefully. But I like what I see, that's for sure. So who else is excited to see that block in this engine compartment? That orange block with that billet aluminum timing cover, that awesome fleece intake. Who's excited to see that thing between the rails of this thing and propelling this thing down the 1320? I know I am. I am so ecstatic. I came back from Indiana with a whole new and reinvigorated mindset on this project. After talking to everybody out there, after seeing the engine, I am ready to go. I'm ready to get this thing ripping as soon as I can. I can't wait. So, a couple things, guys, I forgot to mention. The engine is now not a 5.9, it's not a 6.7, it is now a 6.8 Cummins. So with all the stuff that Freedom does to it, the displacement ends up coming out as a 6.8. So a little more displacement, and there's no replacement for displacement. So we're gonna have that. Also, we are running a fluid amper on there. If you would have saw it in the video, I forgot to mention it. There's a new fluid amper on there with the full power kit. We probably should have had the full power kit on this engine when we were doing it, but I think fluid amper recommends that over 3,500 RPM, which we were turning with that. We were turning like 4,000 to 5,000. The 5,000 wasn't intentional. That's when we were figuring out the trans tuning, but it's good to have. We're pushing a lot of horsepower. We're going to be pushing a lot of horsepower. Chase says the 2000 on the engine dyno won't be a problem, which is pretty cool. But that's where I wanted to go. I'm somebody who always wants more. I'm glad they didn't talk me into it. They just kind of gave me, here's the points. Here's the bullet points of information. Make your decision. And that's what I did. And they said, they recommended a solid iron block because at 2,000 horsepower, having a sleeve down block, it's not a matter of if it's going to go. It's kind of like a matter of when it's going to go. And I want that number. I don't know why. I do. And I think we can do it with this setup. So that's I think that's everything about the engine itself. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below. It's going to be gnarly. It's going to be gnarly for sure. Oh, another thing, our wire harness. One reason we ripped out all the wires on this truck, we were going with a different ECM. That's a 2100, an 07.5 to an 09 ECM with a harness from Breakout Tuning Solutions that I got through Hardway Performance. So that's why we pulled all the wires off, because we're not going to need any of them. Different computer. The computer that was in the truck, the 2200, has some limitations. We never had any issues, but when guys start pushing even more horsepower, Ryan had explained it to me. I can't remember what it was, but he said it just, so when you start spinning those RPMs, trying to put out that power, it doesn't want to listen. It doesn't want to do what it's told. So that's why we're switching ECMs. And he said the 2100 is a very versatile ECM, and it works great as a standalone. So that's what we're doing there. So that's everything about the engine. I also wanted to talk a little bit about Freedom Racing Engines. Very impressed with the guys out there, Freedom and Fleece. I didn't know what to expect, honestly. I talked to John on the phone. Seems like a very nice guy, but you never know until you meet people. You can deal with people all day long on the phone. It's just different. But we got there and instantly walked in. I said, hey, I'm so-and-so. Is John around? No, he's busy, but let me show you around the shop. But it was like that all weekend long. People just treating Rob, Bob, Robert, Bobbert, whatever you want to call my brother. He doesn't care. Anyway, they just treated us like family, like they had known us a long time. They had guys who have their engines, the competitors. There was, just guys that are their customers floating in and out all day long saying hi. And we met a bunch of different people throughout the organization all weekend long, and everybody was just so nice and hospitable. It was amazing. Yeah, if I had to describe that organization with one word, the word would be class. Fleece and Freedom is just a class outfit. I am 100% confident that we made the best decision possible on who to go with our engine build. I'm just stoked. I left that place 100% sure that we made the right decision, and that's an amazing feeling. You go through, a few months of starting the process and going through everything, and you never know. You're never going to know until you get the end result. And there's not a doubt in my mind we're going to be happy with it. I'm so impressed with everything they've done, everything they're doing. It was amazing. Chase Fleece, we spent most of the day Thursday with him. John, who I had been dealing with, had a lot going on. Like I said, they had the Super Bowl coming up the next day. They got a lot of stuff on their plate. But yeah, just wealth of information. If I had a question, they had an answer. I mean, it just a class outfit out there. So if you're looking for your engine build, or even just for certain parts, check them out. Not a bad thing to say about them at all. And they're getting this brand new big facility. They're going to have like 4 engine dynos. I think they said a chassis dyno. They're all going to be under one house. They're only across the street now, but I mean, it's just, they got their shit together, that's for sure. So anyway, guys, and it also doesn't hurt my feelings, or it doesn't not help. Well, it doesn't hurt that the top 2 guys on the dyno at UCC had Freedom engines, and the top guy, Derek Rose, who won the event, is a Freedom Engines customer and is tuned by Ryan Milken, just like a certain 4th gen. So I'm excited for what's to come. I'm sorry I'm rambling. I'm so ecstatic about the whole thing. I need to get to working on this cage, and you guys need to get out in your garage, get the wrenching on your truck.